Need a new iPhone? Maybe you'll want to take up a job at this McDonald's. Struggling for new employees, they're offering a sweet perk for new hires. In today's Top 5, welcome to Know This. Let's count down and get to the biggest stories you need to know. Starting at number 5, a heartfelt tribute by a Boston College student who walked 50 miles to his graduation in honor of his best friend. Charlie Martin knew he had to do something big to honor Brendan Rocket, who passed away unexpectedly in 2019. Rocket was also a student at Boston College, and they were supposed to graduate together. So he decided to retrace their journey from hometown to college and raised money along the way. It took Martin a total of 16 hours to make it from Fall River, where he passed Brendan's childhood home, to the cemetery where he's buried, to Newton. On every step of the journey, he was thinking of Rocket, who was his friend since elementary school.
He was always just a great friend, whatever it was, he was always there. Supporting me, and I always try to do the same for him.
Martin has also raised more than $30,000 for a scholarship in Rocket's name. At number 4, more than 3,000 years after they died out in Australia, Tasmanian devils are making a comeback on the mainland. 7 Tasmanian devil joeys were born at a wildlife sanctuary in New South Wales. Researchers have released 26 of them throughout the mainland over the past few years in hopes that they would reproduce, and they did. So how did the feisty, meat-eating marsupials vanish in the first place? They were outnumbered by dingoes, or wild dogs, which arrived on the mainland 4,000 years ago. Number 3, so how bad does McDonald's need new workers behind the counter? How does a new iPhone sound? One Mickey D's restaurant in Altamont, Illinois is offering new hires a new phone after 6 months on the job. While it's a catchy perk, some are slamming the tactic, saying an offer of better wages and working conditions might be the better way to bring in new workers. That's not the only desperate ploy to bring back workers. One McDonald's in Tampa is offering $50 just to show up for an interview. Another in Pennsylvania is offering a $500 signing bonus. The fast food industry is getting crushed by a labor shortage caused by the pandemic, and it is scrambling to hire. The work shortage is being blamed on higher unemployment benefits, the risk of catching COVID on the job, childcare costs, and low wages being offered. At number 2, the criminal investigation into former President Trump advances as a grand jury is convened to review evidence. The Manhattan District Attorney, Cyrus Vance Jr., has convened a grand jury in his investigation into the former president and his business dealings. While no charges have been filed yet, legal experts say this usually means a DA believes there is evidence that a crime has been committed. Vance has been looking into whether the Trump Organization manipulated the price of real estate properties to get loans and defraud insurance companies. The panel could also decide to indict top executives at the Trump Organization. Much attention is being focused on CFO Alan Weisselberg, who experts say knows everything about Trump's finances and holds the keys to the kingdom in this case. The former president is furious over the grand jury, calling it a purely political Democratic witch hunt. This panel will convene 3 times a week for 6 months and will hear evidence from a number of potential cases, so it will likely be months to find out if charges will be brought. And at number 1, a mass shooting at a train rail yard in San Jose, California leaves several people dead. At least 8 people were killed in the gunfire that broke out early this morning at the Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority rail hub. Several others were injured and are being treated at local hospitals. The suspect, who is also dead, was an employee of the Transportation Authority where the shooting took place. The Transportation Authority provides bus and rail service to commuters throughout much of Silicon Valley. Service was not interrupted due to the conflict, and only once the scene became an active investigation did a few lines go down. The Sheriff's Department said that local, state, and federal authorities, including the FBI, were on the scene investigating. They also said they learned there could be explosive devices inside the facility, prompting a delicate search by a bomb squad. Sheriff Lori Smith of Santa Clara County said that shots were still ringing out when authorities entered the facility. The mayor of San Jose says that people need to come together to help the victims' families.
We are in a very dark moment. We are going to do everything we can to support the families of those who have lost their loved ones.
That's today's Top 5. What was the biggest story for you? Tell me in the comments below, and be sure to follow our page for more news. We'll see you right back here next time for more news you need to know.